Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm in the town of Bardejov, which I will show you is absolutely stunning. This is part of the old city wall which goes all the way around the town. This is the basilica. This is a medieval Gothic basilica. Bardejov is a UNESCO protected heritage site, the entire town. And it's a medieval town in eastern Slovakia, a few miles from where I live, which was mostly developed by the Germans in the Middle Ages. And at the moment it's having some problems with UNESCO because of buildings such as that, the one on the right. That's an old communist building, but this new construction next to this old church, UNESCO is really not happy about. This is a protected heritage site, and somehow it passed town planning to build some monstrosities. I'm now walking into the pedestrian zone, which is just incredible. As you can see, Bardejov is located in the Carpathian Mountains, and it is beautiful. It's one of my favourite places to hang out. Now Bardejov, as a living, functioning town, has been around for about 800 years, 900 years. Recently, I did a proofreading of a translation of an analysis of historical texts about Bardejov and the area that the town was concerned with. And it's made me think a lot about our current situation. These texts come from the 13th to the 15th centuries, and they were about the problem of bandits in and around Bardejov. Now, the bandit gangs back then, many of which were located in the forests on the road between Bardejov and my village. These weren't small groups. You're not talking a handful of men. You're talking 100 bandit-sized groups. They were immense. They were like small armies. Travelling anywhere in this region in the medieval period was a nightmare. It was extremely dangerous. Combine that with plague, combine that with constant incursions from Polish aristocrats and their armies looting the place. Combine that with the constant religious wars. It must have been a very hard place to live. Now, Bardejov is on the Amber Road and the Silver Road. Basically the Amber, which comes from the north of Poland and then passes through this way. There are many old ruined castles which protect the road and the toll booths for the Amber. But what it made me think of is Bardejov was given the right to prosecute those it deemed problematic, for example, bandits. It's a giant Easter egg. It's pretty cool. That's pretty damn impressive. Traditional Slovak folk costume. I was actually going to make a video of this. The man is throwing water over the woman, and this is done every Easter Monday. And the modern church interpretation is that it's supposed to be a reference to the baptism by John of Jesus, but Slovaks believe throwing water over women on Easter Monday means they will be healthy, beautiful and fertile for the coming year, which is obviously an ancient pagan tradition. In return, after being drenched in icy water and sometimes whipped with a woven hazel crop, the girl will then give the boy a glass of slivovica for his troubles. There's a lot of contention about this issue because of misogyny and modern beliefs, but here it's still held like a sacred tradition. It's also worth noting on the Tuesday the girls do the same to the boys. They return the favour. It really is a stunning town. Now, what got me thinking about the problems this area suffered in the Middle Ages and how they were given the right to basically torture and execute as they saw fit those who disagreed with their principles or caused problems for the town, as can be seen memorialised in this lovely statue. Was that they only focused on their local surroundings. They were concerned with how people lived here and the success of the town. In the modern world, we focus on countries thousands of miles away, which most of us have never visited, and their problems. We don't focus on the here and now of what's around us. When you're watching television and you see these charity groups pop up which talk about helping Africans or other unfortunate individuals, this is a completely modern concept. Originally, charity concerned those around you. In some ways, this modern form of charity and this modern form of media, which constantly portrays earthquakes and wars and famines around the world, is both a distraction and a means of causing constant fear and confusion. These things have always happened, always. This area I'm in at the moment, I don't think it's ever been peaceful. Just the last century, it's gone through Austro-Hungarian ownership, to German ownership, to Russian ownership, to European ownership, in the space of a century. Sometimes with quite turbulent changes. Focusing on our lives and those around us will bring us a lot more peace to our existence. At the moment, a lot of people are very angry and very confused because of the pandemic and now the crisis in Ukraine. But we have to ask ourselves, what can you really do about it? Yes, you're bombarded 24 hours a day by the news showing that the world is turning to shit. But what can you really do about it yourself? Apart from just stress. This is one of my favourite buildings in Bardejov. This is called the Bashta, the Bastion, which is where the gold used to be held. And now it's quite a cool sort of arts place where you can go see plays and hear groups. It's been very well reconstructed. I think we've got to the stage where we've given up on the idea of changing the world. And it's getting close to just battening down the hatches so we survive whatever the next crisis will be. So what do I see for the future? We're at the stage where we are bordering on giving up entirely on making the world a better place. In all honesty, I think we should be looking back at what happened a century ago, during the period of the First World War and what happened after it. The time of the end of the gold standard, the Great Depression, the end of the minor aristocracy, women's suffrage, when townhouses no longer could afford to keep 10 live-in servants. It was a giant paradigm shift. And now we are going through another paradigm shift. I find it amusing that no one has called the last few years a black swan event. Meaning it isn't. Meaning it wasn't unpredicted. This is the oldest bar in Bardejov, I believe. very popular. I believe we are coming to the same period again, another 1920s in the 2020s. An age of hedonism and nihilism, where we reach the philosophical point where we think, what's the point in giving a fuck anyway? The goalposts keep being moved. We keep being told to panic, and then they change the reason for the panic. Live for today. I'm going to go for a coffee now in one of my favourite cafes here, Tommy's Bar. I'll catch up with you in a minute. As always, be free.